Hi everyone, welcome back. My name is Anant and today we're going to be talking about queues. So the queue data structure is very similar to that of the stack, but instead it follows the FIFO principle, which stands for first in, first out. And as a result, we do operations at both the head and the tail. The operations of a queue include onQueue, which stands for insertion, and this happens at the back of the queue or the tail, and dequeue happens at the front where we essentially pop off from the front of the queue, and peek allows us to see what's at the front of our queue without removing it. The reason for using queues is, again, for the FIFO principle, where there's a ton of real-world applications like task scheduling, customer service, and anything that requires this sort of sequential nature. Another type of queue we're going to briefly talk about is the priority queue, which does the same thing as the queue in terms of structure, but assigns priorities to elements, which has to do with how we order once we insert or on-queue elements. Now for some practice, we're going to perform some operations on the following queue with existing elements 0, 3, and 7. So first, we on-queue or insert to our queue by adding 5, and this, remember, goes to the back of our queue, so we get 0, 3, 7, 5. Next, we on-queue 10, giving us 0, 3, 7, 5, 10. Finally, we dequeue, which pops off 0 from the front, and then we on-queue again, giving us 3, 7, 5, 10, and 15. Therefore, our value at the front is 3. And another thing you might have noticed is that the only thing that impacts the front of our queue is when we call the dequeue operation. So we could have ignored all the on-queues for 5, 10, and 15 and easily found that 3 would be in the front after knowing dequeue was called just once. Finally, to recap, today we went over the queue data structure, which follows the first in, first out principle, and it has a variety of applications, but intuitively it can be understood as a line where a new person will add themselves to the back of the line, while people who are at the front are the first to leave. We defined its operations on queue, dequeue, and peek, and that's all for today, and I'll see you guys in the next one.